sky. Well, you cry out and you don't know why. Come on now, let your feet fly. Come on now, let's go for a ride. Come on now, let your feet fly. Oh, let it fly. Come on, come on.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Red Couch. And I'm Joey Izzy Dakota Jones.
I'm Ash Wednesday, and we got Neal from the Irish Rovers.
Holy fuck. It's not even St. Paddy's Day, we don't need it.
No,
No,
It's
we
summertime and we're okay.
a very nebulous time to have an Irish Rover.
Yes.
In the studio.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you for having me on, guys.
No, absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
We're
So
superstars.
this is like a really, like, these guys are, you guys are like almost like iconic. Well, you are iconic.
It is.
Right? It's iconic stuff. I mean, like, when you get down to it, the history of these guys, and you guys, as far as like, you guys are like, how can I say it? I mean, I grew up in the 60s watching and listening to these guys. You know, you guys play music.
I remember sitting in my grandparents' living room watching the Irish Rovers.
Yeah. CBC.
You were so young.
I wasn't even.
You were only 6.
I like this.
So anyways, yeah.
It was like the Irish Rovers, Tommy Hunter, the Beachcombers.
Yeah.
Like we only got this many TV shows too, right? We only had like
CBC, but they were all really good shows.
They were all killer.
And we got.
Oh, we just lost.
Growing
Actually,
up,
just lost
we,
Tommy Hunter.
we didn't get the Rover show going around, even though they did an awful lot. Yeah, that's it, really.
Yeah.
They did an awful lot of actual shooting there. They're from the north. The main players were the brothers Will and and Will and George Miller, and then their cousin Joe Miller.
Yeah.
And they grew up in the north of Ireland in a place called Bushmills.
Oh, what's that famous for?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's sit with that one for a second. It should
Yeah,
come to you It should come to you fairly quickly.
I didn't know there was a place called Bushmill.
I didn't either until they told me. I mean,
I
it's
am
like
for sure never visiting Bushmill.
so. I joined them only 4 years ago. I mean,
Right.
I'm relatively.
So
new.
you know all the history of that.
I do. I mean, I caught up on it fairly quickly. I mean, sitting around a bunch of guys like this, particularly this kind of institution, I would call it. Like,
Yes.
not just iconic legends. They really are. I mean, I'm surprised they don't have a Walk of Fame star. The
Not yet.
Canadian-
They should.
Yeah,
They
there's- No.
They
No.
should. They
They're not-
should.
That's incredible.
The biggest thing I think in the last while that happens, then we were on tour 2 years ago. We were in Nova Scotia, and they got honoured at the legislature for their contribution to Canadian culture and music, and that was huge.
Mhm.
And I was sitting there, and I went in with them, and I was like, I'd been only with them like this was my first tour with them, and they said, "No, come on in, you're part of this. You're one of the group now." I was like still trying to kind of grapple with that. you know?
grapple with all.
And I'm sitting there in the legislature, and it's like I just felt like I walked into the wrong room and received an award for something that I never really did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really odd. They got the standing ovation. They got, I think, some day named after them
That's
there.
my son.
You know, so
My kid just wrote by on his bike. And
Oh,
you're
really?
applying Clearasil?
what's that?
You're applying Clearasil as they're giving the awards.
It was bizarre, man. But yeah, been with them 4 years, and I'm really caught up on what got them there, and not only that, but also like the history and the steeped history. Like on their show, you know, they talk about all these instances that happen with various people, and they're never showboating. They're very humble,
Yeah.
incredibly humble guys. In fact,
I love that.
yeah, they
A
don't.
lot of big artists are like that, right?
That's
The
what you've
people
told
that
me.
are human beings, right? They're like
A bunch of the
Yeah.
guys that you've toured with, you told
It's
me.
almost the inverse, though, how much they really don't put themselves forward in that regard.
Yeah.
Considering what they've actually done, because what they did in their mind was they just started something and they had a lot of fun, and they've managed to kind of like still be doing
And
this.
they were part of Expo '86 too.
Yeah,
They had a bar down there.
They
They
had
had a bar down there that was
Unicorn.
like, the Unicorn was like just unreal, packed
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
every night.
yeah, and that's where Johnny Cash played on their show. Waylon
Yeah.
Jennings,
Yeah.
Anne Murray,
Yeah.
Canadian, and a bunch of others. I just watched one a while ago with when they had Bobby Darin.
Yes.
Somewhere under the sea.
yeah.
Like,
Like,
what?
you didn't know about any of this.
No,
when you
no.
were
I mean,
growing
can I tell you the story about how it
up?
actually
Please,
all
yeah,
happened?
please.
So I was just playing in a lounge, and it was a lounge in the airport, and it's been a regular gig.
Here?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
in Whitehall. And George, one of the founding members, basically, who's the only real original member left, and him and his wife were sitting there because they were traveling to Toronto to see a play that somebody had written about the Irish Rovers.
Oh, cool.
I don't even know if he really wanted to go. He kind of was the reluctant participant, but he got this ticket anyway, so they were going. And I was singing away, and I was having a fun time. And his wife comes over and just introduces herself and says, "We love your music, myself and my husband. My husband's a musician." I was like, "Oh yeah." You know when you're a musician, somebody comes over and they're just trying to steal your thunder or do something like
Yeah.
insert themselves into the...
In your world.
Yeah. And so I kind of looked skeptically and I was like, "Oh," but I felt compelled to go over because she gave me a tip and it was really generous. So I was like, I thought, you know what, respectfully, I'm going to go over and say hello. And I went over and George was sitting there and he kind of looked up at me like, you know, make this quick, you know. So I just started talking and then he was like, "Hang on, you Irish?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what changed everything." That was the magic word on crap at handshakes. Right? Ireland, yeah.
All right.
I was like, because he goes, yeah, that I can do. He was like, you're a good wee singer. And he was like, and then the Ireland thing, and he goes, and he just, right off the cuff, without even missing a beat, he just goes, "Do you want to come to Nanaimo to record some stuff with us?" They recorded with this guy.
In the airport.
No, well, they invited me in the lounge to go next week, to go the following week.
That day.
That day.
No, that's nice. Isn't that good?
Yeah. Just gave me his number and I said, "Yeah, I'll go." And there's this guy, Rick Salt, who works out in Nanaimo, who records all their stuff.
Right.
Do you ever?
I've heard the name.
Yeah. I went, and the night before I had a terrible mishap with anyway, I ended up in the emergency ward. And so I ended up going after no sleep and this stint. I just had this thing. I took too much magnesium. So embarrassing to admit it.
No.
When you overdose on a supplement.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
I mean, the story should have a little bit more bite than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll edit that out. That's
Could have been like they got really drunk the night before.
No.
Terrible diarrhea.
Yeah. It didn't even. It just made my heart just go do things I'd never felt to do before. So I just didn't take it.
Too. That's a bit odd.
If you overdose on it, and I have a tendency to overdo everything I do. And so I ended up in the ER, and then I got released at about 6 a.m. and I was like, I'm still going. And I was a strain beam, I was existing only on cortisol and adrenaline. And I got there and I had a cup of tea, really good idea after that. And I sang my heart out, and it was just one of those things that really clicked. I enjoyed the company, I enjoyed the
yes.
They were just trying some new stuff out. And after that, I got this offer then to just this is the way they work. They don't really hang around on any they don't wait around on ceremony. They're just like, okay.
They go on the
It
moment.
seems this guy is working with the guys.
Yeah, they
He's
go
having
on the
fun.
moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're getting too old to be waiting around anyway.
Yeah.
And he just goes, "Do you want to come to Belfast to record our new album?"
Oh yeah.
And go I'm thinking, go to Belfast? Yeah. And go. My wife would come over, join me, and then we go back down to Dublin. So we went to Belfast, recorded their new album, and
how many days is this from YVR to Belfast?
Within 6 months.
Dude,
That's fast.
And then the tour 3 months afterwards.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
First, and it was a tour of just from starting in Halifax and all the way working our way back down
Sure.
to here. They don't really do any tours beyond Canada anymore. There's always
this must be the thing with the TV show, man. That must be, right?
What's
Like,
that?
The TV show must be where people are just going bananas and going, "Oh yeah, of course."
That's where that's where the memories are. Yeah.
You know, wasn't that a party?
I mean, the staples. Unicorn. There was green.
That's cool.
That was the one that started it all. 1967, they recorded that.
I
Glenn
remember that.
Campbell did the lead solo work on that.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I met Glenn. I played with Glenn Campbell.
No way.
Not in the band, but we opened up for him at Timmy's Telethon. And
That's crazy.
He was there, and they did it. That Timmy's one was actually in CBC Studios.
Right.
So we went in, and there was Glenn, and he's sitting in the in the little dressing room there. There was a small one. He's sitting there playing guitar.
He can play.
My guitar
Oh,
was
God.
fucking incredible guitar player.
Yeah.
And walked in the door. My guitar player goes like, "Holy fuck, it's Glenn Campbell." And Glenn goes, "Are you guys so and so?" He goes, "You're opening before me." He says, "Are you any good?" And he was joking, right? We go, "Well, we hope we are." I said, "You don't have a problem following us." You know? Afterwards we came off and he said, "I really like you guys," right? And he was so nice. He was such a nice
Again,
man.
that humility that.
If I can just say, okay, this is a personal, Bonnie, this is like number 60 that we've done, and now Joe is, and I played with Glenn Campbell,
We're on the same show.
right?
That wasn't me playing with him.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
guy,
sure.
anyway, okay.
Sharing the stage is, you know.
But
that's-
I mean, you must
that's
have.
a- you get your flowers for that.
But you guys must have like.
Oh, dude.
You guys like you're saying when you're talking about all these people that they've been with and played with.
Mhm.
I mean, how about when you went back to Belfast and recorded with them?
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been very
Are they
historical too, like for
Are
that
they
style
big
of
there?
music, for the Celtic kind of feel, right?
Yeah, well, that was the idea. Were they big there? I don't really know. I
Where are you from?
Dublin. I'm from the south. So I'm from the south. We were in the north.
My
We were
grandmother's
in Belfast.
You were from Ireland, but
Yeah.
you had to go to the north to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's where George. I mean, the studio he wanted to do was called Red Box Studio, and then that was all in Belfast. The guy he had chosen, and the kind of, and it was the idea was to go back and immerse themselves in that cultural hub that they. I mean, George.
And what year was that?
That was 2003
Nice.
or 2023. Sorry, 2023.
Yeah.
2003.
A, B, C.
Dude, those 20 years since it
Yeah.
flipped? I don't know. Whatever, I don't know.
But it was honestly, it was a bit of a nerve-wracking experience for me because I wasn't really immersed in them yet. I didn't know them. And
How did
so-
you feel about like playing in that Belfast, in that studio,
Yeah.
and playing that style, like you play that kind of style of music?
was
Obviously,
a
you're
little-
comfortable in that kind of
No,
stuff.
not really. I mean,
Not
it's-
really.
No.
So what was that like for you? I mean, that must have been intense. I mean, I'm putting it mildly,
What?
right? I can
What?
tell by the
just like camping.
yeah.
Sorry.
Dun, 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 dun.
Very good, very good. This guy's fast.
So.
Belfast.
And now I grew up with that kind of music, and I did play that. I did play the Irish music years and years ago. but
What
I-
were you playing at YVR? What were you doing there?
Raunchy stuff.
I'm like the Velvet Mafia, man. I do like James Taylor and like
Oh, great
Oh,
stuff.
all that really troubadour story. I love the storytellers.
Yes.
And when I write, that's kind of how I write too.
Very cool.
I'll do some soulful stuff, and I'll do some, I'll have a kind of a little bit of
I like that.
a
I
rhythm.
like that stuff.
Yeah.
70s stuff is very
Yeah, me too, man. And I always
Heart melters.
like I keep
Yeah.
thinking to myself. People say, "Why don't you
James Taylor's
do
great.
you do any like more contemporary stuff?" I'm like, well, yeah, but nobody's gonna remember that in 20 years. But like, if you even look at Spotify, the stuff that's still played, mostly like if you look at the Beatles, I mean, there's very few people with the kind of billions of streams that like the bands like the Stones, the Beatles, all these guys
My son
still
turned
have.
20 yesterday.
Yeah.
Today, I was we're using my phone, but it was his playlist at his birthday party yesterday.
And you say 20?
He turned 20,
Right.
yeah. So today, I just listened to my son's playlist all day. Skinner,
Wow.
The Doors,
That's cool.
The Smiths.
Yeah. It's
Lots
very
of
encouraging,
punk rock.
isn't it? It's like,
Dude, it was.
You want to hear?
I felt like I did a pretty good job.
I was telling. Remember, I told you my granddaughter, and then
Yeah.
Kennedy. She's only 8, so she came into my son's room the other day and said, "Dad," she played. So she goes, "Listen to this." So she played him some Led Zeppelin. She's 8,
That's
right?
cool.
And
That's
he
great.
and he goes, "What song is that?" It's called "On the Tiles, Dad." It's got ripping effing guitar. He goes, "What did you just say?" She goes, he says, "Take out the word effing." He says, "And I'm cool with the ripping guitar." Take the word. She's 8, right? And I just went. He told me, he says, "That's what." I said, "Wow, Led Zeppelin at 8 years old."
That's
These
kind of the
days.
beautiful thing about like all the streams.
But it's what he
stuff.
said.
It's all brand new to them,
Spotify, it's all the old stuff, right?
and it's
That's where kids want that. Like they want that.
It's cross generational, man. It's like good music is good music. I mean,
Dude.
Yes.
like I would encapsulate it this way: the truth does not need to be protected. and that music
Yeah.
is
Oh,
the,
that's killer, dude. That's
very
a
good.
good line.
You know that line?
so
That's your back piece.
No, that's good.
That's a great one.
yeah, it's and what I mean referring especially to music is that music it'll showcase itself just by its own merit.
Yeah.
And so like
And so
the new music today, especially as we go into AI, is revealing itself as what it is. It's this overproduced stuff, which has got a candy kind of like thing, a little bit like you got a sweet, you get the sugar rush, and then you get the jitters.
So nowadays, guess what? You know
that's
what somebody told me the
interesting.
other day, a music producer in Vancouver, a real good one in town, told me the other day, 70% of new music today is produced by AI.
Yeah.
70%.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's
And that's not good.
But I think it's the last gasp of like that particular movement towards something so
False.
condensed. Yeah. Well, you know, I don't want to take away anything from anybody's taste or what
No.
they listen to. I mean, I even have people, friends of mine or family who are producing, you know, AI albums, and they're sending them to me, and I'm like, I'm stumped as to what to say about these things.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't you. This isn't your voice. It isn't
Yeah.
even your expression. It's like.
My producer said to me last week, he goes to me, we're in a studio recording, he goes, if you don't get it, we can always replace you with an AI voice of you. And I just started, my mouth dropped, I went, how will I know? My first thought was, how would I know if this is going to be really me?
You know.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
I just joking, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the Belfast thing
Yeah,
quickly. So like the experience was really intense. And did you ever get a feel of like they were when you said they're going for that Celtic vibe, sort of like get the roots, they're getting their roots
Well,
in?
that's where they live. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the
Oh,
roots.
they
yeah.
live there.
Yeah, they live in the. I mean,
They live in that
they
music.
have a
Oh,
broad.
they don't.
No. I mean,
Live in
they
that.
live in that space of
Okay,
Irish
okay,
music,
sorry,
so it's
sorry.
not like they're not trying to get a feel. They are that feel.
No, I mean, but they go back to get that.
Oh, I see.
You
Yeah.
to get get that connection
Yeah.
between
That
where
was-
they've been and where they are now. You know what I mean? Like what I'm trying to say is like when they go there, they're reconnecting with the roots, right? They got the roots, but what I'm trying to say is you're here in Canada. It's okay. We're my heritage is my dad's Scottish and Irish, so you know of course that's my dad's heritage and my heritage, but you know I don't you won't get that feel unless you go back there and you really connect.
There's a truth to that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? To where you are, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Irish people in this town.
Yeah.
Oh, there's tons. There's tons. Scottish and Irish.
Those
We're
people-
always up on
those
on
people are
North Van.
hilarious.
You know where they all lived in the beginning?
We're here to take over. We're not here to take part. You know?
Yeah. You know where they all lived.
Giver,
They all
man.
lived in like my grandpa days. They all lived in North Van.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're mountains, the Highlands. They're fucking used to being on mountains and fucking hilly places. That's what Scottish and Irish people
Kitsilano
do.
is swimming in it.
Well, there's no mountains in Ireland. There's
No,
hills.
no. But my grandmother was
Or
There's
Irish.
places that are higher than your house.
That's right. Yeah. No, my grandma was from Dublin.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's where you're from.
Do
yeah.
you remember where?
South, like you. I don't remember whereabouts in Dublin, but
Okay.
she's in the south part, and then her last name was McNamara.
Okay.
I know
So my mom
family.
used to say, "Your grandma, you can't get any more Irish than McNamara."
McNamara or
Yeah, McNamara.
McNamara.
Yeah.
McNamara, yeah.
Yeah,
My family's
she's
from
12,
Cork.
Okay.
13 kids. She's
Wow.
the youngest.
That sounds Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Irish.
Get all hammered up, whatever, baby.
Yeah.
And you know what? My grandma was always in the pub. My grandpa had to pull her out of the pub. My family said, "Your grandma drank a lot." I said, "Well, she's Irish."
That's just a
She was
cliche.
so kind. My grandma was so kind. She was such a nice lady. But you know, I didn't give a shit if she drank a lot. Who cared?
We wouldn't have known any different. We grew up with it too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to get back to that, like, Belfast was, the idea was to immerse, yes, in the culture. I mean, they've done these kind of things before. They wanted to try something different as well, which I think brought some of the, and I'll circumvent that. I wasn't really in with the crew yet, so I mean, I was sort of like a bit of an outlier, I felt.
Yeah,
and that was my own, because these lads have been together, they got a kind of a shorthand, they're all funny, like proper funny. So whenever I tried to kind of chime in and joke, you could tell my insecurity was rife with being there. And I found it really difficult to find a place, so I really kind of learned a lot about myself in that environment with them. And that's what actually was my survival, because after that, I didn't think I'd be invited back for anything. That's
Yeah.
how, I mean, I was in the studio with the cans on and I was singing the song and they were changing everything like as it went along, because the engineer was really having his own vision, and it was different. This was, I only found this out later, but this was the way they worked in this particular time, in this particular place, was different than anything they'd ever done. And so they were all sort of out of sorts. They were all kind of like trying to, feel it out and just see where this guy is going, So he was changing the song. I had 2 songs on it that are mine that I sang lead vocals on. And they're 2 ballady kind of songs. And one of them was written by George, and one of them was an old song written by another guy from Belfast. And when I was singing this other song called My Belfast Love, like I said, the engineer, Donald, was changing it. And something just fell out of the bottom of me. And I was there, I had one can on and one can off, trying to kind of like make sense of what he was trying to kind of achieve with this. And I had practiced this song for 6 months in one particular way.
Yeah.
And I got it rock solid.
Yeah.
Right? And
Now you have to change.
And it wasn't my style, like it was a lot of lilt, like it was like, you are my Belfast love. It was these Belfast love, all of these lilty things that are really not really natural for my voice. These
right.
I forget what they call them. There's a name for that.
Yeah.
Not melisma, something else. And so I was like, I was so studied in this one particular version that when he was changing it, I felt something shift in me. I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown. Every insecurity, every imposter syndrome, everything inhabited my body, and I was just like, just get through this, man. 'Cause I had 2 choices. I was either going to crawl into a ball, rocking back and forward, and just lose it, or I was going to stand my ground, and I was going to summon every tool and every bit of work I've ever done on myself to get me to where I am now, to that point, and just stand my ground and just finish the job.
Yes.
And I was on such shaky ground, Joe. I was just like, I wasn't
That's
myself.
okay. Yeah.
And I remained there for the whole rest of the time. I was really just like
Focused.
Focused, but like not myself. I was like not feeling confident at all. And I've sang for like professionally for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And suddenly.
But you're playing with, you're playing. I did that once where I played with. I played in the bar. He'll say something about this one. I played at Murphy's Pub. And we used to play down on Seymour at Murphy's Pub a lot. And we were playing there, and who walked in on a Friday evening was Long John Baldwin.
Oh wow.
And a lot of people I would probably be no problem singing in front of. The Long John sat right where Ash is. And I started losing it. And the guys in the band went, "Are you okay?" I says, "Are you fucking nuts?" I says, "Excuse me folks, sorry I swore, but I said, "Are you nuts?" Long Joe Baldry is sitting right in front of me and watching us.
Yeah, man.
And he's worked with the Rolling Stones, Elton John, the Beatles. He knows everybody. When these guys all come to town, he's at the concert backstage in Vancouver. Like he knows all these guys. And the minute they come to town, Rod Stewart, Elton John, or the Stones, they call him and say, "Hey, John, come backstage." And because I know that through other people I knew who knew him, and I was like,
everybody.
And you know what? I had a hard time that set. That set was stunningly hard for me because I was just like, fucking motherfucker, I just got thrown for a loop because I just all of a sudden all these other people started coming in my head, and I'm going like, I don't know if I can match up to this or I can keep this going. And he liked it afterwards. He smiled. Said thank you very much, and I was happy he did that. I still was a mess for like a good another 2 hours, and the guys.
That's what happens when people keep coming in your head.
Yeah.
Right.
Coming in.
Sorry.
Good one. But anyways,
And this will be one big edit out.
Jesus Christ.
Who's gonna edit that
Presenting
out?
Neal like the Irish Rovers, and that's it.
That's right.
But anyways,
This is Neal.
did
Record scratch.
they ever talk to you about how they wrote those songs like long?
When did they form?
Pre-Hell
I want to know when they formed because I don't
Oh, a
know.
long time.
Yeah, for sure. Before me.
Well, so George and Will were like 16 when whatever, I don't know what age Will is, I think he's slightly older than George. So that would be, they wrote The Unicorn in 1967, and that was the song that really started it all.
Yes,
for
I
them.
remember that one for sure.
Yeah.
I remember that being.
I don't know if it was released in 67, but they recorded it, and there's been many versions
I
of
didn't
it.
have an iPhone in it. It didn't have a phone in it, a cell phone in '67.
Poor.
But I had a transistor radio about this big, and I'm serious. That song was the first songs I listened to. That was on the charts. California Dreamin', Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones.
It's a good record.
And the Beatles, I think was probably, 67 was probably like, You Say Hello, I Say Goodbye, you know, that kind of thing, very psychedelic stuff. And the Irish Rover song. I mean, I'm serious, Green Alligators and all. It was like 5 or 6 songs. I Light My Fire in the Doors. And that was about, you know, that was the extent of it. And then that was the first top 10, right? So they were up there with all those guys, man. I mean, they were up there with the biggest artists in the world.
And how did you weren't even born.
No.
I was just crawling out of my mom when the unicorn was out.
Yeah.
What were you doing? Swimming in your dad somewhere.
Somewhere out in the great vast universe, I don't know.
That's so
cool.
That's so incredible for a band to have that longevity.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that, that's incredible.
And even now, like, I mean, the members, some of them are, you know, have been there over 20 years. Obviously, there's been, you know, not just a turnover, but there's been, like, people who've died, you know, members.
That's like, we were talking earlier, we went and saw Skinner last summer.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing the trucks in the P&E.
Killer.
Oh, they were good. Yeah.
They were incredible, man. And somebody, I was cutting somebody's hair, and they're like,
"They're really good."
Oh, what are they, like a cover band? Like, no, man.
Wow.
It's a Greek boat, right?
Wow.
Take out a part, put in a part. Is that the same boat? That's the same boat to me. They were incredible.
I would tell you that would be from the hearing you guys and the ilk of, you know, all this in here. That would be about the best possible, like, tip of the hat to it. Like, I mean, I would take that.
Oh
as
yeah,
read, you know, like
absolutely.
You guys are saying it because I was wondering about that actually because I saw the roadies looking like 10 miles of bad road sitting outside on their trucks, you know, waiting for the band to finish, and I was like, really Skinner? And I was like, I was so curious because I was just walking up to Empire Fields there.
They're incredible, dude.
And I was really like tempted to like, I should have got a ticket for that, you know.
Yeah, they were incredible. You would have really liked the show. I'm telling you, what's his brother? I mean, who sang Van Zandt. What's his name? Is it Steve?
Van Zandt.
Van Zandt.
Steve.
Ronnie Van Zandt. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And Ronnie, he did his brother justice. Yeah,
I know,
he's
incredible.
He's incredible. He sang like, and the band just was, you know, really tight and really incredible. Now, the Irish Rovers must be like that too, though, right? They must be really, because they have to present a lot of history, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody who's there, the beautiful thing about it is when you're on stage with them there, and we play in some really nice theaters, big theaters, like, you know, thousands of people.
Yeah.
The shows go from hundreds to thousands, and it's the music now isn't even about the Rovers. The Rovers is the brand, the music is the people's.
Yeah.
And you see them, they're there with their whole
lovely.
family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what you feel. So there's no, like, I never played in front of that many people consistently ever in my life. And I thought, am I going to get a little bit scared here? Because I got my moments, you know, like where it's just me and the spotlight me. And there's a bit of comedy too, you know, the show has an arc to it. They really know how to put a show together.
I bet.
I mean, when my wife came, she was just blown away. She didn't think she was going to get, you know, because it's like the octogenarian club, you know. It's like, what are we going to get here? You know, it's like people falling over.
That's kind of what we're talking about too. Like Jagger, my kid Jagger listened to the Doors. Like that's when came out when I was born.
Yeah.
But he's into it. So octogenarian crowd, maybe. You know what I mean?
No, I mean the band. I mean the
okay.
crowd is all kinds of ages, but the crowd has always been. When you look at old footage of their show back in the '70s, and that the age group hasn't changed.
You know,
It's like it's just like this. You know, this. You know, remember Highlander, the Scottish.
Yeah.
serious.
But he was always 70.
Yeah.
You're immortal when you get to 72. You're like, really?
Come on, man.
Bad knees and all. You're like,
Yeah.
I live forever with this.
You're stuck.
Yeah. You live forever. You can never skateboard.
You got cursed.
You skateboard, you can't get up without making. Highlander. Can't lift that sword, no. We.
Sorry, that. Move. That's not what I
Not what I used to be.
mean. You call that a knife? Good enough, man. Probably.
Unreal.
But they, you know, they put on. Here's the thing. I mean, when they get on stage, the energy is just as much as when they were whatever age, 20, 30, 40 years.
I bet.
There's certain bands that do that too.
You know, they must like, you guys must, because you've been with them just a while, the last few, you know, many years, but like, when they go on stage, it must be like a switch, you know, a flip, the switch flicks, and there they are. They know exactly what they're doing, they know where they're going, they're comfortable in that spot and
Yeah.
away they go.
Yeah.
And I imagine that's
The
probably-
format's never really left the original format where they come on and they just light up and they just get right into it. It's
Yeah.
not like,
Yeah,
you know, they got
sure.
somebody introducing, they got a wonderful lady who's their PR person, does an awful lot of the work, and she's a real fan of the band, has been a real, you know, amazing attribute to the band for many years, Jennifer. And she gets on and she introduces them and she gets the crowd, she's basically saying to the crowd, I'm telling you what you're here for. She gets them warmed up and
Hype
gets them,
man.
Good.
yeah, and she's really good at it.
Really good.
Gets a
at it.
laugh, you know, gets a few laughs going and gets them like really, oh, we're here to see Robert, you know. And then we come on and then it just hits right into gear and it
Wow.
takes a few shows at the beginning of a tour to sort of like
Get warmed up
in,
again.
get, get in. There's like always that little, there's flat spots and stuff like that. I don't recognize them,
Yeah, they do.
but they do.
They do. Yeah.
And they're all very much, you know, connected to what the only reason they're still touring is because the people are still enjoying it.
Yeah.
Again,
I
that's their
love that.
mantra.
I love
Is as
that.
long as the people are having a good time,
Yeah.
then we keep doing it. As soon as we start as soon as these shows go flat and they're not presenting as I would like to
Yeah.
experience them,
Yeah.
then
Then they're
stop it.
gone.
Yeah.
Then they're gone.
And
So
you know,
it-
every year we think, is it going to be this
Yeah.
year? Right?
Or it's similar, but a few years ago. It's probably 10 years ago, something like that. I went to the rickshaw, the Sonics were playing,
oh, wow,
and I was like, oh, I
Rickshaw, too.
love the fucking Sonics. And I didn't, whatever, you know, there's something wrong with me. These little old men come out and their pants are up like this, and they just come out onto the stage like this, and I went, oh no, this is gonna be boom, bang, blow the roof off, play the witch, like everything, and it was incredible. So, I mean, this is cliche too. Even at 80 years old, though, that's a number. You know what I mean? Music, there's no number to that.
No,
That's
that's true. That's
that's
very
just
true.
1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
That's just forever.
You're in.
Because that's deeper than that's more than us.
Neil, did they ever tell you like how they got those hits? Like you know how they wrote like is it a party or
Well,
That thing
it wasn't. It wasn't a party. It was
ridiculous.
written by Tom Paxton for them.
right?
After
Yeah.
I think a party. So like they have. I mean, Bryan Adams has written songs for them.
Yes,
We
yes,
all
I
sing
heard that.
together.
Yeah.
And his songwriting partner as well, who he's still with.
Bryan Adams wrote War Machine for Kiss.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot of
That's
stuff.
one of their
The
heaviest
Uniform was
tunes.
also written by another writer. So I mean, they've written. I mean, George is a prolific songwriter for sure. But the big ones were written by
But
someone.
outside.
Yeah, and they were written specifically for them.
For them.
Yeah, for them.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
you know that song? Those were the days.
Yes.
my friend? That was written for the Rovers.
Wow.
It wasn't recorded by them.
Wow.
I know. There's like all this stuff just comes out of the woodwork. You talk
Yeah.
about the Doors. I got a story about the Doors and the Rovers as well.
Let's have
which
it.
yeah. Oh, okay. When we were on our last tour, just this last spring, just gone, and we were doing mostly northern Ontario. So like,
Sue?
Whiteout.
Susie Marie?
We did Sault Ste. Marie, we did
Yeah.
Thunder Bay, we did God damn it, my brain just emptied of all of the places. But we were going from one particular whiteout in, I think it was actually, we were leaving Thunder Bay and we were going to Sarnia
Mhm.
or Kitchener, I can't remember. And there was a code orange on the weather, which meant they were going to close Highway 7.
Yeah.
And so we decided we're going to leave and get ahead of it. Like we were going to leave super early in the morning, get ahead of it.
Right.
And it prompted the question, we're all sitting around at the show in Thunder Bay. Great people there. Great people in all of these smaller towns
Mm-hmm.
in Canada, which the one amazing thing which is being with the Rovers, beyond being with the Rovers, was I get to see Canada in a way that I've never seen it before. 'Cause
Sure,
I've never
yeah.
really toured. Why would I go to Northern Ontario and
Yeah.
hug Lake Superior basically
Yeah,
for
yeah,
all
yeah.
intents and purposes? That's what we did.
Yeah.
So we're going the next morning. So I asked George when we're on a break in the green room from the show. I was like, have you ever cancelled a show? Because they've toured extensively, never really. But
Wow.
there was this one time they were going from Buffalo, and I think they were going to New York. And I missed this part of the story, but the mayor had closed down the town, and I can't remember why. So they were in this hotel, and they're like, all right, boys, we got the night off. So everybody's like, woo, and they go to the bar. And they were knocking on Will, who was the accordion player. They knocked on his door, said, we're going down to the bar, we got the night off, do you want to come down? He goes, no, I'm just going to stay here. And he had his bottle of Jameson and he has his Gordon, he was just working on some stuff. And so they go down to the bar and what's his name, Ray Manzarek and Robbie Kruger?
Krieger.
Kramer.
Krieger.
Kramer.
Krieger.
No, it's Kramer.
It's not Kramer.
Okay.
That's Seinfeld.
See, I met Robbie. That's the crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they're in the bar, and I'm just going to do my best to keep on track here.
Yes.
And so they're like, I think extensively partying with the Doors down.
Yeah.
And
keyboard player and guitar player.
Yeah. And Will was in his room, and the next. So cut a long story short, the next morning, George was saying to Will, "Why didn't you come down? We had them with this members of the Doors." And he goes, "Who?" He goes, "Yeah, but this really strange thing happened." He goes, "After you left, some guy just walked by my room, and he was just like black hair, really hippie-ish, and sort of like just came in and he just sort of invited himself into my room, and he was like, I really like what you're doing. Can I sit and listen with you?" And Will was like, "Sure, whatever."
Was it
You know,
Jim?
so- yeah. So he's like, but
Wow.
yeah. So and then he's playing with, and there's Ronald Jameson. The story was, I wasn't going to say this at the end. That was the big reveal.
Welcome to Joe.
So he basically partied with Jim Morrison the whole night, not knowing who he was.
Holy shit.
Because he said he told the story about this guy who just came in and kind of went on, and then they shared the whiskey, and then he was saying, Jim was saying that Jim Morrison was saying, "I have some poetry. Do you mind if I read my poetry to your music?" So they ended up jamming together, unbeknownst to this guy, this accordion player from the Rovers, that he was jamming with Jim Morrison in a hotel room in Buffalo.
Did he tell that?
They did, but he still wouldn't have. He didn't know, so he didn't. That's why That's why Jim Morrison probably sat with this guy, because he felt the energy was safe and he could be vulnerable with him, because this guy wasn't going, Jim Morrison, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I get starstruck, so I understand, and I become a fool around people.
Shall I tell him that story about Jim real quick?
Yeah.
Please.
So I when I was a young kid, I was at the Peony. I went to a Doors show in '68, and the Doors were playing, and I was in the Agrodome. So they invited everybody up on the stage. Back then, in the '60s, the bands would invite people. So,
You weren't even in high school.
no, I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
And so it was at Hastings School actually. So I climbed up on stage and looking out at 100,000 people or so. I'm going, fuck, what am I doing up here? And I sat between Jim Morrison and Robbie Krieger. That's Krieger is the word. It is Krieger. And I got it right. So Krieger was there, Jim was there, and there was me on this side of Jim and a really nice looking girl on this side of Jim. And so the girl starts rubbing Jim's leg, and I'm looking, going, interesting. And Jim looks over at me and smiles like this, looks at Robbie, and he goes, "Now, Robbie." So Robbie goes, "Cool," and he starts doing a solo. It's not even in the part of the song. He just take it solo here. So he solos Robbie, and Jim looks at me one more time, and I go like this, and he grabs the girl, and he plants a big one on her, right, and then he lets go, and she just passes out. Like I'm like 10 years old or something, or 11 years old. And I look at it, wow, I want to do that when I go up.
And then you never stop doing that.
Yeah, when you start thinking, wow, and then we all got thrown off the stage, but that was my Doors story.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it really happened. It was funny. Yeah, and then I met Robbie Krieger in LA when I was playing in LA. I played there a lot, and one time he was playing at Whiskey, and we played there a lot. So we were at the Rainbow having a bite to eat, and he came in, there's a tradition at the Whiskey that if you play at the Whiskey, you got to go to the Rainbow for a bite to eat before or after the show. And so he was there before the show, and he was having a bite to eat, and I was sitting with a bunch of friends from here, and we were at the Rainbow eating. And my buddy goes, "I know Robert Krieger, and he owns a music store." So I says, "Oh, okay." And I says, "Well, I want to say hello. Being a star who I'm going to be, right?" So I stand up. "No, don't do that. You're embarrassed." I said, "I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm going to just walk up and shake his hand and say hello. Nicely. I'm not going to hug the guy or something." I said, "Hi, Robbie. I'm pleased to meet you." And he goes, I said, "I'm a big fan." He goes, and he was nice. He goes, "You coming to the show at the Whiskey thing?" He says, "I'm going to try to get in. I don't think we didn't get tickets, right?" So he goes, okay. So he says, see you later, thank you very much, and walks away. And then the waitress at the Rainbow says to us, come back, Joe, because we played there a lot, Joe. Come back tonight at around 10 to 11. There's a private party, and Robbie's going to be here, and you guys are welcome.
Oh, that's very cool.
You guys are welcome. And so we just went back and partied with his band and him, right? We talked.
Very cool.
It was fun.
Very cool.
See the connection between all this connection stuff.
But it was at a time, it was kind of like the Laurel Canyon. Remember Laurel Canyon was
Yeah.
the time it was where all the folkies, the James Taylors, the Carole King, all of that
Stephen
became,
Stills, Neal Young.
and what's his name? Saudi, brain. But this, it seems like, I mean, it was at a time where like we have these icons now, but they were made icons over time. At that time, they were just these guys, like Johnny Cash is on the show, like I said, Waylon Jennings, all these people that were on, but they were just, it was a relaxed thing, and nobody was like idolizing them the way that we do now. I think that the culture shifted a little bit to a little bit more of a really weird sort of like, you know, ideal of people. And so at that time, people felt safe with being around. So the Rovers just had this like ease about them, particularly on their show. And so all these people were delighted to come and play on their show. You know?
Because they'd be in your living room.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Well, you know,
they're hanging out in your house.
Rovers, like in Vancouver, like you know, when I was a kid, like I said, like Irish Rovers, Chilliwack, you know, which were the Collectors at one point, Seeds of Time, all these local acts.
Trooper.
Trooper was really not there yet, but Heart and all these people, like all these bands were early day people. But Vancouver at that point in time was, you know, really, it was a small community of musicians and artists, but they all knew each other and they're all friends, right? You know, it's kind of, you know, you start to see that.
And it was more potent too, like from what I believe. I mean, I wasn't here at that time, but
it was very.
I came in on the tail end when things like the Purple Onion or Richards and Richards, they
That's
were all
right.
closing. It was the last gas
right at the end
of those. So I got to experience them,
yeah.
and like I got to see like Queens of the Stone Age and Richards on Richards, for example, with Dave Grohl on drums.
Great,
for that album.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I got to sort of sample a little bit of what that time. That was the sort of like where the tide broke. It kind of washed back and everything with it, you know. So like, there was definitely a different kind of.
But you know, the professionalism at that time was really, really good. Like I mean, the bands were, the artists at that time in Vancouver were fucking swearing again, but very amazing at that point in time.
We swear in every episode.
I know. I always do it. Potty mouth, folks.
Because we're motherfuckers.
Yeah. But that's
except this guy.
Except this guy. The Irishman who doesn't swear somehow.
And they were a part of that culture. That's what I'm trying to say. They were a part of that Vancouver scene. That they had that ilk of being really good. And they were stars, right? Their songs made them stars, right?
Yeah.
You know.
But there was no separation either. Right now, it's almost like a marketing ploy to separate yourself, to create a buzz about yourself. That you're special.
Yeah, that's
somehow.
Interesting.
Yeah, like and if you pull yourself away from the crowd, or pull yourself away from.
And particularly right now, when everything is. I mean, we're doing it right now, but everything is. Hey, I'm making my breakfast right now, everybody.
Yeah.
But to still try and have some kind of mystique about yourself, it's weird, right?
Well, I think the mystique is gone. I think it's full on, like it's full like exposure now. Like I mean, your life is basically like it's.
I was saying the other day.
It's the Truman Show.
When I was saying when I was a kid, listening to whatever mountain. I don't know what they look like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who cares? They're a killer.
Yeah.
Or whatever, or the Allman Brothers. I mean, I guess those guys were actually.
Well, you know, see, when you're talking about those bands at that time, in Irish Rovers and all these people, and unless you went and seen that band, or caught them on TV shows that CBC had, or you watched them on the Ed Sullivan Show, there was rare. It was rare. So you would hear it. You hear Green Alligators on the radio, and that's where your connection was to the Irish Rovers. So you'd have to go and pay, probably this what it was like back then, folks, ready for a shocker, sticker shocker. $5 to go and see
Shilling and
Irish Rover.
twopence.
Yeah, $5 to see the Irish
You
Rover.
gotta put that blue bill on the table,
I mean,
baby.
it was like, nothing.
Yeah.
And you know, and you go and you pay next to nothing. Back then that probably was a bit more. But like you would go and see a show like that because you heard the song on the radio. You didn't have any imagination of what they look. You had imagination of what they might look like, but you didn't know
You
who
didn't
they
know?
looked like. You
Yeah.
didn't know
Well, the Rovers were
you
the
didn't-
exception with the TV
Because
show.
of
They were
yeah.
very.
Yeah, that was it. That's
No, but what I
that's
mean,
the
even
thing,
the
yeah.
TV show, you knew so much about them. That's all you knew. You know what I'm trying to say? You didn't know like you're saying now. Everybody's like right in your face.
Oh Jesus!
You're
And
just-
this is the hemorrhoid cream I use.
Yeah. Where back then you didn't know
Yeah,
a
that's
lot about people except for what they were doing.
And what they are willing to show you.
Yes.
Or persona.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
things have changed that much. But yeah, I know. I mean that.
Even you too. Like you do a lot more stuff. Where I mean, I don't think
I do a
people,
lot more.
I don't think people know
I do a lot more.
the
So
deep stuff.
you know why I do a lot of stuff online is and I'll be honest, I don't care. It's nowadays is because I want people to hear my music, and there's not a lot of outlets left where besides streaming your songs around the world, which I get tons of airplay around the world, but there's not a lot beside that where people get to hear you and see you right now. So
Mhm.
Nobody's buying singles.
well, nobody's buying music anymore at all.
Yeah.
They're streaming it, they're downloading
And
it.
why would you? It's not like you're
Well, and my kid wouldn't have the massive love for music that he has if he didn't. But he has everything. He has all rock and roll.
So let me ask you now, with the Irish Rovers, what happens next with these guys? Are they're going back out on the road again, doing a bunch of
got
shows?
2 tours booked for next year.
Wow.
One in the spring. I've only ever done a spring tour with them. But then the summer after that. So the next spring tour we're doing, we're starting, I believe, in Vernon,
Right.
and we're going out, definitely Alberta, New Brunswick,
Oh, cool.
back to Vancouver. It tends to ping pong a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
That's only based on the availability of the theatres.
Right.
Generally, where they start is the theatre that they start in will be a theatre they can get a good price on that we can do because we'll book out a theatre for like a group of days, probably about 4 or 5. We'll do the rehearsals, full band rehearsals.
Oh
before,
yeah.
you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So generally, like the last tour we did, we started in Winkler, Manitoba.
Right.
You know,
Cool.
yeah, like
Someplace nobody's ever been to.
it's
So what's Winkler, Manitoba like? Must be
You
interesting.
love it.
Amish.
You love it.
No,
I did.
I mean, it's
Great
cool.
people.
Barbara Springer.
Great people. Great people.
Yeah.
Manitoba are full of awesome. Friendly Manitoba is no joke.
No,
They are awesome.
they are really good people. In fact, all across Canada, in all of these towns that I went to, Halifax stole my heart completely.
Yeah,
That was
great.
what a town.
Hi Robin, my brother lives there. Hi
I
Robin.
love it. I love it. We're going back there again. And so that's we have a spring tour, and then the summer tour is based around the Irish music festivals that happen in
Oh,
so there's the
that's
Miramichi one, there's one in Halifax too. Miramichi's in New Brunswick, and then there's one in Halifax. And then we're going, and this thrills me to bits because I've never been. We're going all the way to St. John's, Newfoundland.
Oh dude.
Oh,
We're playing there in the Holy Heart Theatre.
Yeah.
in July.
That's more Irish than Ireland.
Tell me about it. They really have preserved the traditions of 200 years ago. In fact, they're Irish when they speak Oscuelga much of the Holly. They speak it in a much older dialect that probably wouldn't get or be understood in Ireland
I love that.
Wow.
because it survived because that's what they came over with, and why would they change it?
Yeah,
Whereas in
they're
Ireland,
so-
you know that it gets more slangy, much like any
Yeah, it's like
language
any
kind of
language
rolls
does,
with
yeah.
the culture. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is definitely. But I've got a friend over there who's always been mad that I've never come over. But I'm like, if I'm going over to, why would I go to St. John's? Well, it's cheaper and easier to get to Ireland.
That's wild.
It is.
Well, that's the way
the
it is
Sydney
in
ferry.
Canada.
It's
Yeah,
cheaper.
true.
It's cheaper to go to France than Montreal.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
No,
fucked.
it is. It is. It's really.
That's fucked.
That's
man.
really
Yeah,
screwed up.
internal flying here is, but that excites me huge. Like I get to go and play in St. John's.
Where's the biggest crowds?
They're all like this is the amazing thing. Like I mean, they've
Small
been
towns
going.
probably get a lot of
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about
Because they don't get a lot of
theaters
shit.
that hold like 1,800 to 2,000 plus. The last show we did was in Aurelia, which is the
We didn't tell you earlier. We got about 4K right now.
4K. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Hi 4K. I'm watching in 4K. The last place we played was Aurelia, and that's in Ontario, and the crowd was 3,500 people.
Wow.
I know. I mean, that's crazy for a band who's been around over 60 years now, 62 years. They had their 60th. That was the 60 years of Roving was the first tour that I went on with them.
That's
This
cool.
will be the third year that I'm touring with them, and it's 2, and it's really, really cool. Yeah.
How many hits have they had? I can't remember. How many hits?
It's hard for me to quantify that because
Maybe 5 or 6.
I mean the major ones I think would be a handful that were charted and stuff like that.
That did really well. Yeah.
But they're still writing stuff that's still getting a lot of, like, right now it's measured by the streams. And
Yeah.
their streams are still way in the millions.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
I know
I can't
that is,
believe it because they're not really sort of in the public eye in that kind of
Don't
way.
have
They're
to
on
be.
social, yeah.
You
They're,
don't have to be.
they're on. They tour and people come out.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't get crowds like that in my
Nobody
own career.
could. Nobody could. No.
And I,
No.
You know,
Because
even if I did
it's
all
like
the-
we said, they're historic, right?
yeah.
They're an iconic band.
Iconic. Yeah.
They are.
It is.
They're very iconic.
Oh, dude,
Sure
yeah.
is. They're like I said when you mentioned.
When Jeff told me he wanted to be on the show, I was like, oh my god.
Like when
Yeah.
when they're
Well,
up
and I
there.
didn't know you were in the band.
But when they're up when they're
Big
when-
secret.
Big secret. When you're up there, like we just said, like I said, when I put on my little transistor radio when I'm 7 years old,
Yeah.
and they're on there with the Doors and the Beatles and
And
the
that's
Stones.
crazy in itself.
I mean, you know damn well that they're just as big as they are.
My high school-
There's no difference.
I
They're on
didn't
the
go-
same playlist.
I didn't go
Top
to
10.
I didn't go to high school dance and not hear wasn't that a party
Yeah.
Yeah.
ever. Like
I heard
ever,
it at
all
every
the-
friggin' wedding I was ever at.
How long was
Yeah,
I
it
in
was a
high
big
school? Like
friend's
the
wedding.
14
That's
years
when I
I
was
was in
playing.
high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the introduction to the song every time.
Yeah.
When you got married, when you got divorced, you got like whatever it was.
Yeah, it's in the
That
party.
wasn't in the party.
Yeah, it was in the party.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how
Fun,
long?
fun song to be a part of when they're playing it, by the way.
I
Dude,
bet.
that must be
Because
nuts.
we do all that. We have little laughs, you know. Someone took a grapefruit, war like that. You're doing all these things that are like, very alien to me. I don't ever really move like that. But this is the first show I don't play guitar in the band. I opted not to because my style and their style is just that much different. Where I just was like, if I don't have to, and they really wanted me to come in and really beef up the vocals because I've got a big voice, and I could really kind of like just help that delivery. And that was great for me because the responsibility was a little less. I mean, when I'm playing and singing, it's fun. I love doing it. But sometimes I just want to sing.
Yeah.
You just want to perform. You know what I mean? You just want to have fun. The guitar's a little bit of a.
Yeah.
It's an obstruction to
Yeah,
performing. I
yeah.
feel sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's like this thing,
Yeah.
this bulky thing. So it really is very cool to stand there, and I'm literally a performing fly on the wall in
Yeah.
that regard.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
dude,
get to
that's
see
cool.
and experience this history, this living history, this living iconic history, and I get to be a part of it in the best position of all. I mean, those four are down there, and I'm up on risers with the keyboard player, the drum, and the bass player.
Yeah,
So we're hyper. We're not the direct focus. The
No,
lights
it's
are
on
it,
that.
and I
It's
get
on
a
the
few-
historical part people, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
the real,
Like
the
that.
real rovers.
Yeah.
I
And
guess
that-
a lot of bands, but that is all based in love,
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
For
It
that
is.
music,
Yeah, oh,
for
yeah.
those guys, for those times, for our feelings about that.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I think they're a big, like, how long did they did at 86, how long did that bar last down there? Did it?
Quite a few years.
Quite
I
a
mean,
few
that's
years
when they-
after, too.
Yeah, and they did an awful lot of expos. I mean, they not an awful lot, but they did it was about half a dozen or so, or eight.
Yeah, because
eight.
of success.
Worldwide. I mean, they were worldwide in that
Yeah.
regard. They played Carnegie Hall, Sydney Opera House.
Wow.
They played Sydney Opera House. So like that unicorn. That's a really good question. That'd be one that I would ask them. How long did it actually last with them? The amount of
It
stories
did
that
last a long
happened.
time.
Yeah,
Actually, somebody out there, one of you now,
yeah,
tell us.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's lasted.
I was actually wondering where exactly it was
Mm.
in Vancouver.
Yeah, it was down at 86 by the big
But it-
Science World Ball.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
BC
It was right
Place,
there?
yeah, BC Place, right down there.
86th Street. Yeah.
So the building doesn't exist anymore then?
I don't know if it does. I think it.
'Cause it was a big place. Like,
it was
huge.
awesome, man.
Well,
86th
that-
Street was killer.
Yeah, it was 86th Street after the Unicorn. Yeah. Yeah, huge place, and I've played 86th Street 4 times. Yeah, huge venue. Yeah, I don't know what's in there now. That area still exists, but I don't know what it is. Probably condos.
Yeah.
Vancouver.
Let's
Probably
guess.
condos.
Let's guess what it could possibly be.
It has to be condos by now. And that area would be going on that route anyways, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So that's great. So they're just getting ready for a tour next year. That's
Yeah, there's already, I mean, I'm already getting all the songs for the song list. I mean, I get stuff sent to me all the time to kind of either brush up on, or maybe I'm getting, there's a new song here and there, like we're doing a few songs that I haven't done with them before. Lily the Pink is one. Let's drink, the Lily the Pink, the Pink, the Pink.
oh cool.
Let's say you're all you. It's a great song. It's a great song. But they're all great songs. Once I get into them, there's one of my favorites is Mick McGuire. But they're all these, like, they have such energy to them, and it was stuff that I was in the ether, like growing up. You know, obviously in Ireland that music was very prevalent, but it wasn't really on my radar in that kind of way. I wasn't like passionate about it.
Yeah.
But now I feel like a part of it.
Yes.
And again, I kind of like opted to be thrust into that by just the invitation by itself. Like
Yeah.
when we were in that fateful day
That
in that
story's
lounge.
incredible. That
You know,
story's incredible.
It's how, talk about a Rolling Stone gathering moss, it's how fast the whole thing just went bang, 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 bang.
Dude, that's
And every
what
time I would talk to my wife, I'm like, they're going to Belfast, or they're going on a tour, I don't think I'm going to be invited. And then I would say this just to save myself from any disappointment.
Yeah.
Sure.
And any anxiety. of that.
Yeah, because obviously part of me would like to, but I thought, I don't know if I was that really impressive in the last thing that I did with it. But here we are. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting with you guys talking about being an honorary member of a band that's been,
I would
doing
say
wonderful things.
honorary member.
Not anymore, actually.
I'd
no.
say you're
No,
deep
I'd
in.
say like
I'd
that.
You're
say-
part of the band now.
It took a
I'd
while.
say
It took a while. but
You're
yeah.
in the book now.
Yeah. I mean, this will be.
Here's something I'm curious about.
Hmm.
Who cuts your hair? Where do you get your hair cut? Right here, Republic of East Vancouver.
That's right. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a hole in my haircut that's been there. That's been getting bigger over the years. So
We're not
Jeff always does his best to make me look expensive.
Jeff's a fucking. He's lovely, right?
I love the guy. I love what you guys have built here, actually.
Thanks, Elmi.
Yeah, I know that the whole culture of what you're doing here is
Thank
amazing. From this iteration that we're.
You
now
know what's
sitting-
funny? I was thinking about that when you guys actually were talking about the Doors and all that stuff, and people are forever like, "Oh, why don't you monetize your fucking?" Well, that's in what we're doing. What we're doing is like, I want to hear these stories, man. You guys want to hear these stories. You want to watch an ad? I don't want to watch an ad. I want to hear these stories. I want to know. I want to know what this neighborhood is. I want to know who we are.
Yeah,
Dude, and who we still are, and who we're gonna be, and all that stuff that we do.
And the world needs that more than ever now. Like that,
Dude.
that sense of community, that those people who are willing to go out on a limb and just like extending. You guys aren't even going on a limb, you're just doing what seems to come naturally. Because every time I talk about it and try and sort of pump the tires of you guys, it's like, nah, it's just like something we do. It was like a gag, it's like a gag reflex.
Yeah,
like
right.
have an art show of somebody or something happens organically to kind of like put guitars on the wall or somebody's art.
Oh, these are
And
our
it just-
friends. Our friend is making these guitars.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like
Yeah,
every time
for
I come
sure.
in here, there's
These
some
skateboards,
new-
all this stuff, all this art. You guys can't
Yeah.
see the art. The place is full.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing. You come in here and the energy is like, I mean, the couches themselves would inform you of what to do when you come in here. Sit and hang a while. And like,
Yeah, come hang out.
you know,
with
yeah,
us.
exactly. So like,
And you came and hang out with us.
but the
great.
very first day I came in here, man, I knew this was it. I mean, I don't really need a haircut much. I don't have much hair left, hence the hat. But I love coming in here, so I book my time and I get polished, and it's really about like getting out of the house and kind of getting myself into an environment like this.
Yeah, because
Alright.
we love this.
Yeah.
But thank you.
And
very
we love
much.
you.
Yeah, this is great, guys.
Neal from the Irish Rovers, everybody.
Hey, how about
Peace
that? And we love
Okay.
each and every one of you. Let's turn
See you
off
later.
1,000 cameras before we say anything stupid.
Yeah.
Too late.